All right, now, it's another thing that I want to add before we officially start our question number one, okay? And that is this. From time to time, I look at teachers' answer key, and they often skip this notation. Don't. Listen to me. Don't skip the notation. I will tell you why. Number one, you are not doing magic. What you are simply doing, it's like this, right? You are breaking down the number 12 into 1 times 12, and they are equal to each other. They have to equal to each other. And if they're equal to each other, then you write an equal sign. That's it. I don't understand why some math teachers or like these Algebra 1 teachers, they will show the work without showing equal sign. It is a sin to not write equal sign. It is a very bad habit to have in Algebra 1 or in early math stages, okay, especially Algebra 1 or Algebra 2. If you don't have a habit of writing equal, that means you don't quite understand that they're equal since you don't write it. You don't write it. You don't realize it, okay? And you're not you're not being responsible with your own notation. And when you go to like pre-calculus or calculus, you will realize how important your notations will be, okay? So number one, write equal. You will see me writing equal signs all the time. All right, now, so when we look at this, how do we start? We try to extract all the obvious, all right, 100% guaranteed truth information that we can get. For example, okay, now we're going to assume that we can factor, all right? I hope we could. It is possible. I think there was one question on the next page that might not be able to factor like this, but sure, we'll get to that in a moment. So we assume that we're going to have two sets of parentheses, okay? What kind of information that we know for sure? Okay, there are two pieces of information that we know for sure. Number one, we know that the first term for these two parentheses, one, it's going to be 3k, and the other one, it's k. And by the way, I don't care if you do k first and then 3k. It's okay. Because why? We are multiplying. Order doesn't matter. Okay? How do we know? Well, because 3, it's a prime number. We must show our gratitude whenever you're presented with a prime number. Because why? That means that's only one combination. It's 3 times 1. All right? There's no other possibility. Okay, so that's the first piece of guaranteed information that we can obtain, and we can extract. The second piece of information that we can obtain is this. When you see both being positive, okay, both being plus signs, that means only one thing, and that is inside the two sets of parentheses, they must be both positive. Because why? Positive times positive gets you positive. Okay? But now, of course, you can say, well, whoa. Could it be negative? Well, if these happen to be negative, then this must be negative. And it is not. So therefore, that's how we can say, the sign inside the parentheses, it has to be a plus. Okay? So these are the two pieces of information that we can get for now. And the biggest mystery that we have right here is, well, how do we analyze this number 15? Because it's not prime. We could have 1 times 15. It could have 3 times 5. It could be 3 times 5. So which one? Okay, so this is what we call trial and error. Now, I think I saw that on the answer key, your teacher would just break down the middle term. I'm not going to do it. That it's not for Algebra 2. Okay, I'm not interested in entertaining your teacher to do something that's kind of low level. Okay, I'm prepping my students for the future. So here we go. How do we know? Now, the name of the method is called trial and error. And what it means is that you're going to do some mental math. You've got to do some mental math. And this mental math, your mental math skill on this will get sharper and sharper when you are, number one, focused. Number two, you would get a feeling. Okay, now let me go ahead and do a blind trial and error to illustrate what I mean by you would eventually get a feeling. Okay, let's just say this. Okay, I don't know, 1 in 15. Let's try it. Now, the moment you write this, what you start thinking about is do your outer and your inner, just like what I showed you earlier, the outer and the inner. Okay, you do it in your head. Okay, try not to write it down unless you have to, but you can do it. You can do it in your head. Okay, so when you do outer, 3K times 15, that's 45K. And then you have 1K. So you realize if you add them all together, it's going to be 46. You know it is not right because we are looking for positive 14K, not 46K. So that's like, oh yeah, that's not going to work. But now, could it be like this? Could it be like 15 and 1? Like swap the positions? Can we do 15 and 1? Okay, go ahead, try it out. Do the outer, 3K. Do the inner, 15K. 15 plus 3, it's 18, not 14. And you're like, oh, so bad luck. Did not get to score it right in the first attempt. No problem. Keep going. Okay? Let's just say, 3 and 5, right? 3 and 5. Let's try it out. Would it work? Try it. 3 times 5, 15. 3 times K, 3K. So 15 plus 3, it's 18. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. I think we are really in a bad luck today. All right, now, final attempt. All right. Could it work? Let's see. Outer, 9K. Inner, 5K. What's 9 plus 5? Ooh, it is 14. And that's how we can confirm that it is the right pair of factors. 3K plus 5 times K plus 3. That's how we know that's our correct factor. Now, at the beginning, do it slowly. Get a good mental picture of how to do the inner and outer in your head. Okay? So, yes, I wrote the numbers down. What I would challenge you is go ahead, imagine that you had the numbers written down. Would you still be able to see positive 14 right here? Okay? Let's try a couple more examples and see if you can get it. All right, number 6. What kind of information that we can get for sure based on this trinomial right here? All right, do you see any prime number? Oh, yes, we do. That's a 3. Lovely. It's 1 and 3. And guess what? It's a plus and a plus. That means what? It's got to be a plus inside each pair of parentheses. So now, the struggle. Again, we got 2 sets of numbers, all right? So what do we do? How do we get 14? Now, let's see if you can kind of picture it. So what your brain is doing is like, hey, go ahead, look at these 2 pairs of numbers. Your brain is kind of crunching the numbers and say, all right, let me go ahead and think about this. Your brain is probably thinking about 8 times 3, which is 24. And you're like, oh, 24 is way too big. No bueno. Okay? So, what about 8 plus 3? All right, 8 plus 3, it's 11. No bueno. Why do I say 8 plus 3? Because what you can do is to propose like, oh, is it possible to be like this? Okay, that's how we have 8 plus 3. 8C plus 3C. Well, that's 11, not 14. So we're like, not good, not good. All right? Now, if you are sharp with your mental math, let's see if you can capture this. 2 and 4, 1 and 3. How do you get 14? Okay, crunch some numbers. All right, I hope you find out that, hey, what's 4 times 3? 4 times 3 is 12. 2 times 1? 2. So 4C, 2C. 12C, 2C. Both positive. You're adding. That's how we get positive 14c. Hooray! As I said, the more you do, the better it's going to be. The more you do, the better it's going to be. Okay? All right. Let's take a look at number 2. All right. Now, like I said earlier in the previous video, I said, hey, you got to be sharp with your vision. If there's anything you can spot out that's repeating, factor them out first because it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. Okay? It's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So we say, hey, they're all multiples of 5. Look at the coefficients. And they all have a k. And we say, ooh, good. Okay, so the first term, it's going to be a k squared inside parentheses. The next one is 7k. And the last one is minus 8, minus 8. Yes. All right. Now, I always say to students, the way you can tell whether you're right or wrong is that if you can multiply this back into the parentheses, you distribute, will you get the same thing? Okay? That's the whole point of writing equal, because they have to be equal. That's what you're doing. You're basically changing the way it looks. All right? You're changing like, oh, 12 is the same as what? 3 times 4, 2 times 6, or 1 times 12. They are still 12, right? You're just changing the appearance of it. All right? Now, here's another thing that I've seen a lot of students doing, and that's not good, and that is they are putting so much effort in factoring here, and they forgot about the 5k. Did you do anything about the 5k? If you did not do anything with the 5k, then they stay. There's no reason to, evaporate them, vaporize them. Okay, they should stay there. And then we're saying like, oh yeah, let's try factor this. All right, what kind of information do we know? Well, we see k squared. That means one thing. It's going to be k times k. Do we know anything about the sign? Well, we see a minus and a minus. To get negative 8, well, the only way to get a negative 8 means you're going to have a positive, you're going to have a negative. Now, we could go ahead and put down the plus and minus signs in the parentheses. Because why? Because they are both starting with k. So it doesn't really matter. Now, however, in the future, we will see some other examples. When the first terms are different in these two parentheses, okay, when the first terms are different in these two parentheses, then we cannot just say, oh, it's going to be plus or minus. Okay, that we have to be very cautious. That is not something that we can guarantee. Okay, so now, same thing, same drill. What's 8, right? 1 times 8, 2 times 4. Now, the other piece of understanding is this. As we said a moment ago, it's going to be plus and a minus. So what you're thinking about is that look at these two pairs of numbers. Do they interact through subtraction? Some sort of subtraction to give you negative 7, okay? For each pair of these numbers, could they get negative 7? And we're like, oh yeah, here, negative 8 plus 1, right? That's negative 7. And that's how we know. Negative 8, positive 1. Just to double check, your outer, that will be negative 8k. Your inner, it's going to be positive k. That's how you get negative 7k. Okay? So again, trial and error. It's going to take some time to practice, but that is what you would do for a long, long time. Okay? And that would be very beneficial. Okie dokie. Ooh. All right, let's see how much we can do. Well, at the very least, I can see they're both even numbers. And also, I can see k, right? So we take out the 2, we take out the k. And what do we have? 4k squared minus, what is this? 81. Can we factor this any further? Well, for 81, I think they belong to a very special category of numbers. And that is called the perfect square. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you the answer and see if you get it. Okay? The answer is, 2k stays there. 2k plus 9, 2k minus 9. All right, take a look. How do we know these two factors? Number one, these are perfect square, right? Earlier, we talked about this. A squared minus b squared can be factored going to the left, being factored into a plus b, a minus b. So the vision that you're going to have here is the following. You will change the way to look at things temporarily. For k squared, it's actually parentheses 2k, parentheses square. 81, of course, it's 9 squared. So you recognize that, ooh, yeah, that's a squared minus b squared. And that's how I know it's 2k plus 9 and 2k minus 9. You have got to be very sensitive. And that's why we practice. If you don't get it, it's okay. Look at the answer. Okay, look at the answer and say, ooh, yeah, I should have caught it. Should have caught it earlier. It's okay. Pick it up next time. Okay, that's what practices are for. All right, let's take a look at this. What's common? Ooh, I can see a for all the terms. So then after factor the a, I've got this. Okay? What kind of information do we know? Well, it's going to be k and k. That's how we get k squared. It's going to be minus and minus because that's how you get plus and minus. It's 2 and 9. It has to be 2 and 9. Because when you do the inner and outer, it is negative 9k and then negative 2k. You combine them, ta-da, negative 11k. Okay? All right? So now, let's stop a moment right here. So we have 4 questions right here, or 5 questions right here. So they are all done through trial and error. Okay, and number 3 is a special case, which you have a squared plus b squared, a squared minus b squared, only a squared minus b squared. We cannot really factor a squared plus b squared, and you would know why later on in algebra 2. Okay, in algebra 2. So, all right, so now for the next video, I'm going to do all these questions. All right, so let's go.